Hello again, everyone. It's Todd Staruch, the Horror Nerd, here at New Jersey HorrorCon and Film Festival at the Showboat in Atlantic City, New Jersey. We are winding things down. It's the third day of the convention. We have been having a great time, and it is always a pleasure to see this man, Mr. Dave Sheridan. Dave, how are you?
I'm doing great, Todd. How are you?
I am just ducky.
It's a Sunday. It's a Sunday, so
it is, but it's still pretty busy here. Yeah. There's a lot of people around.
And I love it. One of the things I get out of doing conventions is meeting the fans and hanging out with the love of my life, Felissa Rose, and we bring a lot of energy with each other.
Hey, wait a second.
Hello.
What is going on?
It was perfect timing.
It was.
I said I like coming to these things for the fans and the love of my life, Felissa Rose.
Wait a second. Have you been cheating on me, Felissa, with him? Oh, my God. Uh-oh, man.
I've been invited to a lot of weddings that men are going to marry Felissa. So it's like, apparently, I'm the best man at like 5 weddings. So, and believe me, I am the best man. So
you are.
Yeah.
You are. So, Dave, you always seem to be having a good time, and I watch the fan interactions with you, and you always seem to give your all to the fans. So, what is it that keeps you coming back to these conventions?
Aside from the money that I have to make, no.
Well, yeah.
But no, I guess I'm a little bit of a. I do hear a lot of the most often complimented things. I call them like a mock. Oh, you were great in this. But every now and then, somebody goes into a deep cut like a Frank McCluskey or Buzzkill from MTV, or they've seen Walking Deceased, or even some movies that I don't even remember. So I like finding that kind of information out. And then, I wouldn't say I'm a people person, but when I play all my characters, I model them off of human interaction that I have, in terms of creating characters. So I also like meeting people because I find humans to be the most fascinating organism on the earth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we did a convention and it was dogs coming up, I might be a little bit bored of that, but I like meeting humans. Everybody is so different, you know what I mean? And we're all on the spectrum. I know they use that word spectrum for autism, but that doesn't really exist because we're all on the spectrum.
That's true.
I mean?
That is true.
We're all different. And,
exactly.
So.
You said something that I always find interesting. I thought I was a fan, but there are fans that will find the most obscure thing you've ever done.
Yes.
And then bring it up to you.
Yes. Like one film that I know people are like super deep into comedies is when they bring a film called Windy City Heat, which not a lot of people know about, and it's considered one of the funniest movies out there that exists, and it's got some great cast. It's directed by Bobcat Goldthwait, and Jimmy Kimmel produced it, and Dane Cook's in it with myself and a lot of other actors and stuff like that. It's a really funny film.
Cool.
So that's one to check out if you haven't seen that.
Out of all of your many projects, do you have a personal favorite?
They're all like a weirdly personal favorite in some aspect. I would say if I had a personal favorite in the outcome of just the film itself, I would say it's Scary Movie, only because, man, that thing's held up. It's 23 years. I watched it, and there's still some funny stuff in it, and it certainly paved the way, because it was my first feature film. It certainly allowed me to have a stage and do other movies. And then in terms of a horror film, Devil's Rejects, I was already very excited to be a part of that, and it was an honor to be a part of that with that cast, iconic cast. But the longer it's gone on, it's even more of like, man, this is legendary. I'm a part of that one too. And then I look at like, say, Hatchet for Victor Crowley. It's like that was more like
that right there.
What makes that one of my favorite movies is how we shot that and the sort of camaraderie that we established as the ensemble there. That was totally different than one of these ensemble movies. That one felt a lot more like Sex Drive, and Sex Drive again. It's underrated film. I don't think a lot of people know that one, but that was such a joy. That was so much fun to work on. You know what I mean? Because we shot it in Florida at the beach, and we had a party. We had a party. You know what I mean? So yeah, they're all special in their own way, and I don't know if you can't really say like picking out which one of your kids is the favorite, but yeah, you do have to go with the OG original. This got me into business. which would be Scary Movie, obviously.
Sure.
And obviously, it's one of the reasons I'm here. There's a Doofy thing in the back.
So now, speaking of which, obviously, Officer Doofy is your iconic character, right?
Yeah.
And you do in character a lot. I think I might know the answer to this, but how much of your own personality became part of Officer Doofy?
Oh, probably zero, really, of my own personality, but it was a character that was pre-existing. I shot 2 short films of a character named Chip, and that's what the Weinsteins saw. They were on VHS back then. It was way before YouTube. It came across their desk because these little tapes went viral that people would copy. And when they saw Chip, they reached out and contacted me and said, "We want you to play that character as this Doofy character." And then I read the script and I said, "I'll do it, but I'm represented as Ghostface, so I'm only going to do it if you let me be in the costume the whole time and do the voice, because I want to, if that's going to be a funny character, I want it to be my funny character. You know, I want it to be as funny as I can be, not an extra."
Right.
And or a stunt person. So, and they jumped on that because they were like, "Well, we're not going to pay you anymore. Is that okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." So they got double the amount of work.
Right.
I mean, I was on set every day. I was the only actor in that film that was on set every day. So, and that was good for residuals, by the way.
I have
which
no
I
doubt.
did not know. Residuals work in a way that, like, once they cut the check of how much you're getting in DVD sales and all that other stuff, it's based on how many days you worked on the film itself.
Ah, okay.
So, yeah.
Interesting fact.
So I did very well on that one.
Cool. So, Dave, I'm almost afraid to touch this, but
that one's fine.
Okay.
Because this is the Fun World one.
Let's tell
this
us
is the
about
crappy
these.
Fun World one, okay? Which they have remade these now because we started making it popular again and Screen came out. But for the longest time, this was put out in 2020. It looked nothing like the mask that I wore. I feel like we're on like a talk show now. We're trying to show like koala bears. But you can see they're not anywhere near the same mask. Would you?
Right.
And it always bugged me because
I will hold that
I'm
for you.
OCD and I own my masks, which might be why they couldn't make the version, or they just didn't care. Looking at it, it's actually not bad though. It's fun. But these things were selling online for like $199 unsigned, and then I would sign them and they'd be up for $500. But I cringed, and I'd still sign them happily, and I have a whole bunch. I've been collecting them. But as the guy that wore the thing, and I'm like a fan of masks, and I was like, I want to make my version, which was the screen accurate version that I molded from my own mask. And I did that. Technology caught up is what happened. Once technology, because that was foam latex and it's 22 years old.
Yeah.
So you could not like pour a mold on it. It would just destroy that. So I was able to go to a place called Scan LA, great people, and they did a laser scan, an exact copy laser scan into like a CAD printable 3D file. Then I did a 3D print, and then I made a mold, reverse mold from that 3D print, and now I'm pouring molds and painting them, hand painted, and they're awesome. And I'm going to make some wearable ones, but these urethane sort of resin ones, they only take like I can do these in about 4 minutes versus 4 hours for the other one, for a latex.
Nice.
So I can pour more out of a couple molds.
So are these available only at conventions, or do you sell them online? Like, tell people how they can get one.
For the most part, I can only keep up and be making them for conventions right now, but I am starting to be able to ship them out to people, and they can go to whatsupmerch.com, or no, whatsupmerch at Gmail.
Okay.
Whatsupmerch at Gmail. What's up, I guess. You have to know how to spell it, but
don't worry, we'll link it.
Yeah.
We'll give you an
That's
assist
the best
and
way
we'll
to get a
link
hold of me, and then, so I'm starting to put a mailing list together, like a pre-order list, to kind of go, okay, I need to make 40 for these people,
Right.
and then ship them out and stuff like
Nice.
that.
All right, so Dave, before I let you go, I do have one final question, and I love this one because I'm always fascinated by the answer. If you could give one piece of advice to, say, a young up-and-coming actor or actress, what would that piece of advice be?
Go out and act. Look, ultimately, I do recommend going to acting classes. I do recommend taking some sort of theatrical schooling and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, 90% of it, just like anything, like a professional baseball player or any sports person, they're really naturally talented, you know, and it's not, even acting is the same thing. It has to be your passion. You have to say, I'm willing to be starving and have no life for acting, because that's 90% of it would be that. You know, it's very rare to get the gig. You have to stay in it so long to get that gig, you know? And so most of these people I've known, she's been doing it since she was, 13 years old. I've been doing like writing stuff and making stuff since like second grade, performing in school. So unless you're like that person that it's naturally ingrained in your DNA, that's all I can do.
Right.
If you go, this is all I can do, because honestly, I'm screwed. People might be jealous of, like, oh, I want to do what he's doing, but I can't do anything else. I'm a loser. I can't work at a cubicle. I can't write. I would be fired on any job. So, and that's what my kindergarten teacher told me. I was in a Clorox bottle it was cut into like a spaceship helmet, and I wasn't listening to her, and I was doing blocks, and she was like, Earth to David, it's over. And I go, and then they said, what do you want to be when you grow up? In kindergarten, I said, I want to be an astronaut. And this was like 1973, when astronauts and Tang and all that was giant.
Big deal, sure.
And she went, you're never going to be an astronaut. You're not astronaut material. But if you become an actor, you could play an astronaut in a movie. And I went, all right, then I want to be an actor, and that's what set me off. And in a movie called White Space, I got to be an astronaut and get in the suit and go float out into space. And I remember being hung up there on the green screen, hanging. Right. I'm not weightless. When they hang you in that, you're hung by this apparatus that's squeezing the fuck out of your balls.
Wow.
And going up your ass, and you're like, but you got to look weightless. You're like, oh God, I'm weightless. Like, I'm more like ballsless, But but I remember sitting there as we're setting stuff up, going, I fucking did it. She was right. I'm an astronaut.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
So I lied. I have one final question.
Okay.
What are you working on now? Any new projects coming up that you want to tell us about?
When is this going to post?
Maybe about a week from now.
Yeah,
and we're recording in
the
September.
newest thing coming out would be on Netflix called The Curse of Bridge Hollow, and it's another Marlon Wayans film. I've done like 11 with him. This one I'm really excited about. It came out really good. It was an expensive movie, but it takes place Halloween night, and the story is about a curse that's been unleashed on this town by these trick-or-treaters unknowingly, where they bring all of the lawn decorations to life.
Ah, wow.
So it's all the giant skeletons, the werewolves, the headless horsemen, everything. So it's kind of like Jumanji meets Night at the Museum meets, Night of the Living Dead kind of thing, where they're getting attacked, the trick-or-treaters, and the parents have to fend them off and try to break the curse.
Very cool.
So check that one out. It's called The Curse of Bridge Hollow, and it's on Netflix on the weekend of October 14th.
Nice.
Yeah, the October 14th weekend. Yeah.
Dave, thank you so much for a few minutes of your time. It's always
Thank you, Todd.
fun to see you. It's
always
cool to hang
fun
out when I see
to see you. It's always cool to hang out with you.
All right, thanks a lot. Dave Sheridan, everybody, here at New Jersey HorrorCon and Film Festival. This is Todd Sturridge, the Horror Nerd, signing off. We will see all of you in the next interview.